Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the MindShare Podcast. This is where we cut through the noise, say the things that need to be said, and give you real strategies to help you work smarter, build mindshare, and grow a business that actually makes money. This is episode number 344. And today, we're talking about something that's hitting a lot of agents hard this summer. It's not a lack of motivation. It's a lack of discipline. So if you're tired of saying, I'll do it tomorrow, if your routine is slipping, if your consistency is fading, and your business feels like it's at a standstill, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. No deals, no money, no plan. Here's how to stop the panic and fix your pipeline. See, look, motivation, I wouldn't say it's the problem. See, motivation comes and goes. It's emotional. It's reactive. But discipline is different. Discipline is built. Discipline is earned. Discipline is practiced. See, when the market's hot, everyone's motivated, right? We know that there's opportunities out there. We know that we could be making money out there, right? We know people are making moves. We're like, all right, I want to go get them, right? It's like opening up your door, looking outside and be like, oh, look, everybody's there. Let's go. Flip side, you open up the door, nobody's there. Are you as motivated to go wherever you were going to go? No. And then when things slow down, it's the discipline that people do or don't have that separates the professionals from everybody else. You know, interestingly enough, let's talk discipline for a moment here. I'm gonna go totally outside of business. I'm gonna talk about something personal at the moment here. Back at the top of May, I decided that I was gonna cut out any alcohol and any bad eating, okay? Got to the point where sort of off the top of the year, including maple syrup season, which my cousin can attest to, that we had a ton of beers while we were making all sorts of amazing maple syrup. And don't get me wrong, it's not like we sit here and drink every day or anything else. I'm not trying to paint this picture of having a problem. It's not that at all. But I say this because, again, those that follow know that, one of the things that I've been very disciplined to over the past number of years is getting to the gym and having goals that I've got, my personal goals. And part of that is to exercise, be in better shape. And so I've been working hard at that. But I'll tell you that, you get to the gym, you're working out like crazy, you're really putting in the effort, you're doing it when you don't want to. And when you're there, it always seems like there's people who are there that are just in better shape. Muscles are ripped and they're bigger and they're stronger, and you look and go like, why? Like, why is my growth taking so long? Why can't we get to that point right there? Now, often what we don't know is how long those people have been doing what they're doing to get where they are. We think because we're doing it too, we should just be there. But it ain't reality. Right? You don't just get there because you want to be there. You get there through the discipline of getting there. And so here I am going to the gym, and I'm, seeing a lot of the same people. And of course, this goes back to just IPAs, income producing activities, making conversations, creating new leads, all that stuff, right? But I'm making conversation with people, and I'm seeing a lot of people that I see on a regular basis. And, you start to see a lot of the same faces. And so some of these guys that are just absolutely ripped, you talk and you make convo now, you say, what's up? And so I've asked the question. I'm like, hey, I asked you something. And this is sometimes how I'd even break the ice. Like random here. Okay, hold on. Random conversation with a total random stranger. And I tell you I tell you often, right? Meet one new person a day. So here's me seeing these people, making eye contact. We've seen each other before. Okay, so now all of a sudden it's like you know that you've seen that person knows they've seen you. It gets to a point where like you can't just keep walking by each other and not saying anything. So especially these guys that are just like, jacked, like muscles popping and everything, go up to them. Like, hey, I got a question for you. They're like, yeah. Like, how many beers do you have a week? Now, you got to know. Again, I'm not sitting here trying to say that there's a problem or anything, but being involved in sports, being around the guys, watching sports, a beer goes hand in hand. And I mean, for those of you that know, you know. But the point is, sometimes it gets out of control. It's like instead of 1 beer, it's 2 beers or 3 beers. Well, beyond any, like, again, issues around the alcohol, we're talking like the issues around the belly and the inability to achieve the loss or the growth that we want to achieve because the eating habits aren't proper. And like I said a moment ago when I brought this up, this is well beyond alcohol or beers. This is eating. This is ingesting, what we're intaking into our bodies that will then fuel our bodies to be the best version of our body so that when we do work out, it's got the right nutrients, it's got the right fuel, and that the results also come because, again, we're fueling properly as opposed to just ingesting whatever we want. So when asking these guys, how many, people would turn around and they'd be like, man, I don't drink beer or I don't have any alcohol. You're like, oh, so not even a beer? They're like, oh, man, that stuff will kill the belly. Like, that stuff will just keep pushing you backwards. And you're like, oh, man. Now, again, on a nice summer's day, beer's great. When there's a fire going, beer's really nice. When you're watching the baseball game, let's have a beer. Go play hockey on Thursday nights with the guys. Let's have a beer. So the point, and again, come on, you know what I'm talking about here. My point to you is this, is that back in May, I'd heard this so many times from people that, like, again, what you ingest, what you intake, it's either going to help you, achieve what you're looking for, or it's going to keep you, back. And over the past few years of working hard the way I haven't focused enough time and energy, and I don't eat poorly, and I don't drink pop or anything like that. But I haven't spent enough time really focused on, like, what I'm ingesting. So again, I come back to and stay with me because I'm going somewhere with this, okay? I come back to the top of May, and I said, that's it. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I am doing this. We're going, like, cold turkey, from everything we're ingesting. And so come May, no joke, I decided to go dry May. And not just dry May, but, like, I'm not eating pizza, I'm not eating pasta, I'm not having, like, all sorts of sandwiches. I'm going to stop having bread with every single meal that I have. And I'm going to put all of these, big muscle dudes to the test and I, see, like, is this for real? Are these guys pulling my chain, or, like, does it actually work? That if, like, you control your diet, and I know we've heard it from a million people, right? But if you control your diet properly, like, you'll see better results. It wasn't easy. Okay? It wasn't easy. I went to hockey that first night, May 1st. And as they normally would, a buddy of mine threw me a beer, threw the can across the change room, and I threw it right back to him. And he's like, whoa, Dave, that was pretty uncharacteristic of you. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's all good, though. I don't want one. Then I get on the ice, and another buddy comes up to me. He's like, hey, man. He's like, everything good? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, I saw you, like, not have that beer. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm going dry May. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dry May. He's like, dry May? It's like, whoever did dry May? You can't do dry May. I'm like, buddy, we got to try it. I am trying because I'm on a mission. I want to achieve. I got things I want. So talk about motivation. I was motivated to get to a goal. So here I am, 30 days. Here we go full circle now. We talk about discipline. Do you know how hard it was to turn down that first beer? Do you know how hard it was to be 7 days later sitting at a bar with a bunch of guys watching playoff hockey? And everybody's ordering beers and nachos and burgers, and I'm sitting there asking for a water and a salad? But then all of a sudden a week goes by and you're like, whoa, I feel better. Then you stick it out for 2 weeks. You're like, oh my God, this is awesome. I feel really good. And not only do I feel good mentally and with my energy, but, like, yeah, the scale's showing it too. And then as the days go on, the clothes start to show it. The mirror starts to show it. And all of a sudden the mindset starts to go, oh my God, this is working. Oh my God, these guys were all right. This stuff worked. And by sticking with the discipline to the plan, that's what separated me from where I was to where I am. The discipline. And then guess what happened? Because I built out such a habit of the discipline and I saw the results that I wanted, that I've been working so hard for. As day 31 came, you know what I did? No, I didn't celebrate. I kept going. Momentum. I kept pushing. And here I am, some 60 days later, down 18 pounds, down 4 inches. I feel incredible. And yes, I veered off slightly. Not fully, slightly. I've allowed myself within reason to enjoy a beer or to enjoy a burger, but not to allow myself to go so far off the rails that I'm essentially driving backwards. No. It's not going to happen. Why? Because I've seen the results. I've seen what happens when my motivation goes into discipline. Because again, motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. And like I said, discipline is what separates the pros from the rest. So my discipline to me working out, to me eating properly, has gotten me to my results. And those results make me feel incredible, and I want more of them. So now you come back to your business and you ask yourself, yeah, people are taking breaks. Yeah, I don't feel as motivated right now. I'd rather be out on the dock or just enjoying the sun, and people aren't really around, so I don't want to go door knock, or I don't want to make my phone calls. The motivation isn't there. Screw the motivation. Think about the discipline. Think about just chipping away every single day, a little bit every single day. Because the more that you do that, the more you will win. So like I said off the top, it's not the motivation that's the problem right now. We all feel it. We all feel the summer lull and the fact that we want to go and enjoy it, the fact that nobody's around, and the fact that things are slow, and the fact that, whatever. We get it. But that's what most people do. So it's your decision to stick to the discipline of doing the things that you may not even want to do today because you're not feeling the motivation to do them. But you do them, and again, you will be one day further ahead than most other people. Now, look, it's all good to talk about discipline, but and I don't want to downplay that by in the way I just said that. But discipline can break down, and so let's look at that for a moment, okay? Because this is where most people lose the battle. There's no routine. We wake up late. We sort of just, kind of wing the day. There's no structure. There's no plan. We're gonna get to it. I know what I gotta do today. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. But that's not a plan. Especially if you want to go to enjoy. Especially if you've got some extracurriculars. You want to take more time with the family. You wake up late. The next thing you know, you're into the rhythm of doing the things that are fun. Doing the things that you want to do versus doing the things that you need to do. So we can't be winging anything. You've got to have a structure to a system and a process. And most people confuse the hell out of system and process, think it's all sorts of technology. Look, you need one simple piece of technology, and it's called a CRM. Leverage the calendar in your CRM. Schedule yourself accordingly based on what those goals that you've got are. Know how much time you need to spend on your IPAs, income-producing activities today. Get that stuff out of the way, then go and enjoy. My calendar straight up I will tell you, and I, again, regular listener, I thank you, I love you. I tell you this all the time. Every single day of my life is scheduled. Even if all it's got in there is baseball, or all it's got in there is a yard work, I schedule it. Why? Because I need to be able to see that I've done the things I need to do. And truth be told, and you know it and I know it, there's going to be time in your day you're going to scroll social, schedule it. There's going to be time in your day where you're going to check in on email, schedule it. There's time in your day where you probably got to make some follow-ups, schedule it. See, the more you schedule it, the more you can see that it's got to get done. The more you realize that you're not climbing a mountain, you just got to do a couple of things. And then once they're done, you can check them off and say they're done. It actually feels incredible. Pat yourself on the back and then keep moving. Go and enjoy. But if you got no routine, that's why you're losing. So you got to have a routine. And that's something we focus in on a big, huge way when it comes to coaching. We start all of our training like that. Because look, if you don't have a routine, if you don't have a system, forget about building anything. You're trying to build trying to put up a palace on like a deck of cards. It's, toothpicks. It's not going to stand. It's not going to hold. We've got to have a foundation. And that routine is exactly that. Okay, so again, you're losing because there's a lack of routine, we need to figure out your structure. And that's something I dive in deep with my clients on. We go through like literally step by step what happens in a day, in the average week, and we try to understand what needs to get done, what you do, what you don't do, and we create a structure around it. Then we find a rhythm that works, and the next thing you know, you realize that you've got a hell of a lot more time on your hands than you thought you did. You're getting more done, you're achieving more, and you're feeling better. Who doesn't want to be there? But again, if you haven't got the routine, that's why you're losing. Okay? Another reason most people lose is just way too many excuses. Like I mean, we talked about this last time. I can't stand excuses. It's summer, it's slow, people are away. That's your problem. Yeah, but what am I supposed to do? Nobody's around. Oh, okay, so just wait till everybody comes back around, just like every other person that you're in competition with is doing. Yeah, but Dave, if they're not around, they're not around. Who said they're not around? Well, I mean, it's summertime. So you've got excuses. Get out there and do something. For the people that aren't around, okay, fine. So if they're not around, call other people. Hell, if your entire database is around, then go prospect. Go meet people. People are here. And straight up, let's be real. With the economy being what it is, not a lot of people are out there spending a ton of money on huge vacations anyways. So stop with the excuses. Okay? Stop with the bullshit excuses. Oh, no, but come on. That's why. It's like, no. Your reasons sound like excuses. I challenge you, okay? I'm going to challenge you. How about this? Every single time you're about to come up with a reason or an excuse or whatever you want to call it, think to yourself, what can I say instead of that? Is that going to sound like a reason/excuse to somebody else right now? Yeah, but it's the truth. It's it's what's going on. People don't give a shit. Okay, and you shouldn't give a shit. You've got to figure out a way to muster through it. Again, there's the discipline. There's the difference between winners and losers. Stop with the excuses. And the other reason that people lose, zero accountability. Zero. If you haven't got accountability, if nobody's holding you to your commitments, like not even yourself, no shit you're going to lose. That's why we talk about tracking goals, and we talk about having your schedule. Because again, when you see your goals, you can see whether you're working towards them. And based on the process we teach, we've got reviews that are happening on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And it makes it so much easier to adjust, to tweak, to win. This is why we talk about scheduling. Because if I can see my schedule and I can see what I got to get done, I go and I get it done. And then when I get it done and I check off that I got it done, I feel good. This is me holding myself accountable. Not to mention, I've got my mentors and I've got my team and everybody kind of knows what I got to be doing. And if I'm not doing it, they're going to know I'm not doing it. Well, how am I ever supposed to lead my team? How am I ever supposed to show my mentors I actually care if I'm not doing the work I need to get done? So not only have I created self-accountability around my goals and my schedule, but I've also created even more accountability by including people in my world that can see what I'm up to. That at the very least can see if I'm winning or I'm losing. Can see if I'm pretending or from the real deal. And I'll tell you something, I don't pretend. And I don't want to be looked at as a faker or somebody who just says and doesn't do. I do. And don't get me wrong, it comes with a lot of failure, a lot of stresses, a lot of frustration, a lot of bullshit. But such is life, isn't it? So you got to find somebody to hold you accountable. You have to have accountability to yourself first and foremost, and that circles right back to the discipline. If I want to hit those goals, and I'm going to go to that gym and work out, then I got to get my ass there. I can't just say that I want to do it. I can't just say I want to be in a certain type of shape or weight or size or anything. I've got to go and do it. Yeah, but it's hard. Go do it. Then when I recognize I did it, not only did I do it and I feel better, but I recognize that I did it and I feel better. And those are two different things. Right? Because we know we did it. But now you got to acknowledge it. Because when you acknowledge it, you've just said to yourself, hey, in my case, David, nice job. And hey, I'm going to tell you right now, that's exactly where a coach comes in. We hold you to what we said, what we planned, what we need to do. We push you. We call you out. We strategize with you. We problem solve with you. We help you. And next thing you know, you've got that routine, and you're not making excuses, and you are achieving. So ask yourself this, okay? What does your first hour of every day look like? Staying in bed, scrolling social media aimlessly, looking at stupidity, polluting your mind? Or have you got a routine of getting up and kind of getting into your own mindset and maybe checking out your goals and practice some gratitude and preparing yourself mentally for what's ahead today? Ask yourself, do you know what your goals even are? Like, and don't just tell me, I know what I want. Like, I know what I've been working towards. No. Like, have you written that shit down? Have you got a 5-year plan? Have you got a 1-year plan? Have you got a 365-day plan that breaks into monthly and weekly and daily goals? And if not, and that might sound overwhelming, but let me tell you something. It's not overwhelming. It's incredibly empowering. So if you haven't got that, you need to get in touch with me. Send me a DM. Seriously. This is the difference. You got to understand this. This is the difference. Don't just hear this. Don't just let it go in one and out the other. Listen to what I'm saying to you. And if you don't believe me or you're like, oh man, well, I hear you. Yeah, I got it. I want you to go listen to 10 more podcasts and read 10 more books. And I promise you right now, you will hear some of the same stuff. Might come out differently. Definitely come out differently. The theory around it might be a little bit different. The process might be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's about creating accountability. And a lot of that accountability comes back to what your goals are. And ask yourself, what systems do you have in place to track all of this? And we provide systems to our clients. We provide the exact systems. It's very, very, very simple. But we give you exactly what you need as part of working with us to help you understand how to structure your day and understand how to create your list of goals and how to stay accountable to the process. And again, we talk system and process. We build it all together. See, my big win is watching you win. This episode is brought to you by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems, the CRM that helps you stay top of mind. REM Real Estate Magazine, the go-to source for industry news and insights. And Revel Realty, redefining real estate with bold marketing and a strong support culture. Don't forget to download your free Ultimate Marketing Bundle at mindshare101.com. And while you're there, check out one-to-one coaching for personalized strategy, the MindShare Collective group coaching for community accountability, and momentum training to fire up your progress. And of course, our MindShare Mastermind happening in Toronto, September 15th to the 17th. This is a room that you want to be in if you're ready to level up. Make sure you get your tickets. All right. We have talked about how motivation isn't the problem, and we talked about, where discipline breaks down, but let's look at the, how to build that discipline, right? I want to give you a plan for that because it's easy for me to say it, and quite frankly, it's something that I personally work at every single day. But I've also put my processes and my systems in place to help me do so. So if you've got discipline that's broken or you're looking to adjust, I want to fix that right now. I want to give you 3 steps right now, a framework to follow, okay? First and foremost, set your non-negotiables. What are they? Like, take out a pen and a paper right now and write it down. Now, if you're driving, do not do it now, but straight up, I want you to write this stuff down. What are my non-negotiables in a day? Such as prospecting, content creation, and follow-up. Those should be on your list. But what I want you to do is I want you to name 3 things that you do daily no matter what. Like, what are they? Write them down. And these are things that are going to help you grow your business. These are things that are going to, help you manage your life. What do you do? Write them down. And are those 3 things part of it? Seriously, can you honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I'm doing that? Prospecting, content creation, follow-up, like on a daily basis. Prospect is meeting somebody new. Follow-up is obviously connecting with those people that you've already met, whether they're people that are longtime friends or you just met somebody yesterday over the weekend. And content creation is how we build a lot more mind share from a one-to-many perspective. Right? When I put out this podcast or social posts or emails, I'm trying to share a message to you, my audience. Same thing you're trying to do with your audience. value, something that's going to give insights. It's going to teach. It's going to inspire. It's going to motivate. It's going to educate, right? So what are your non-negotiables? Write those down. The next one here. You got a time block like a boss. Everything. You've got a calendar every single hour. And yes, remember something. Like I said, if it's go fishing, I'm going to block the time that says go fishing. And now I've got the hours blocked for fishing. Could be baseball. Could be anything. 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 But the calendar needs to be blocked. Okay? Every single hour needs to define what it is you're doing. And I hear it all the time. Oh, it's such a pain. It's so hard. It takes time. Yeah, most people have bullshit excuses. I got clients that say the same thing to me. It's all bullshit, and I tell them straight. Like, look, lead gen time is not optional. Like, there's no I'll get to it later. And if you're going to go buy eggs at the store, then put in grocery shopping in the calendar. If you're going to cut the lawn, put it in. If you're going to door knock or make phone calls, put it in. If you're going to write content, put it in. If you're going to take time to look at your goals, put it in. If you're going to watch the baseball game, put it in. We all got the same 24 hours in a day. And at some point, you're going to eat, you're going to sleep, you use the washroom. And maybe those three things aren't scheduled, but they're going to happen. So they're going to take time, which all of a sudden means you haven't got 24 hours anymore. So how many hours do you have left after those things? And what are you doing with those hours? How are you spending them? Are you wasting them? Are you waiting? Or have you time blocked like a boss? Everything's structured. And some people sit back, oh man, that's way too much structure. That's way too much discipline. That is way too rigid. Yeah, but we got to maximize our hours here. And you got to remember that we are being pulled in a million different directions from these smartphones that are just killing us. But between emails and DMs and texts and socials and, phone calls and God knows the notifications from every single app we have, we're getting pulled in a million directions. So the reality is when you think you've got enough time, all of a sudden you feel like you're out of time, and it's always chaotic because you're always trying to respond to something. You're always distracted by something. Next thing you know, you're not getting all those somethings done that you wanted to get done. So again, time block like a boss. And the third step here is measure it. Measure what? Well, why don't you track it? Your schedule, your goals. Do it daily. Hell, do it publicly. What does that mean? Well, do you follow me on Instagram yet? And I mean, if you don't, it's David Greenspan 101. Love if you follow. Shoot me a DM. Say what's up. Tell me you listen to this episode. But when I think publicly and you follow me, you will see on my stories on almost a daily basis, I put up a picture of me at the gym and it says goals. And some people have asked me, like, Dave, why are you always posting that you're at the gym? Well, there's two reasons. One is, I'm trying to motivate the shit out of you to say, hey, you can do this. The other reason? It's my own self-accountability. If I get that post up, I know for me, through the habit, that the trigger, the fact that it was in my schedule, said go to the gym. I took action, I went to the gym, and I got the reward because I was at the gym. And now by posting that, it's like, hey, there's a little pat on the back. Way to go, bud. You did it. So that's me posting publicly. You get it? I'm measuring. Now, you could do this with a coach. You could do it with a group. You could do it with a whiteboard. Like, whatever keeps you honest. But the point is, you got to track it. Because if you're not tracking it, you're just not being honest with yourself. And oftentimes when people aren't tracking, it's because they're just not achieving. They're actually not doing, and therefore they're not achieving. They just don't want to see it. So they're, instead of being real with themselves, they're hiding. Hey, is that you, by the way? Seriously, be honest with yourself right now. It sucks when you look at goals that are not being achieved and you are working hard to achieve and you do not get them. It sucks. It doesn't feel good. But I will say to you in the same breath here that when you do track them and you do pay attention and you are accountable and you do have a process, you will achieve more than you thought you would. And next thing you know, it's going to feel incredible that you've got this accountability system, that you are paying attention, you are tracking. Because the more that you measure, the more you track, the more you can adjust, the faster you can adjust, the quicker you can get to where you want to go. So when we talk about building this discipline, and I take you right back to this idea of, my eating and everything else, I've built a discipline now that was not just this feel good of like dry May. It's really turned into limiting the intake of negative, of bad, I don't know, bad, like of things that are not working towards me getting to the goals that I want. Let's put it that way. And now because I did it so long and I was so disciplined to it, I just want to keep it going. It's not even like it was like a just dry May. We're talking about a lifestyle change, right? Eating better. Yes, more salads, less burgers, less fries, more protein, less bread. Yeah, sometimes it's fun to just munch out. But again, when you're doing things properly, you can take that moment to do that every once in a while. That's okay. But by building out the discipline, all of a sudden now the goals are happening. And now that the goals are happening, it's like, why would I ever go backwards? And it's such an amazing, empowering feeling. You get to the point where you're like, oh man, that's so hard. To the point where you're like, I want to do more. But the thing is this, okay? Discipline isn't just about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Even when you don't feel like it. So here's the final kick. Do the work. You don't need another quote on Instagram. You don't need to feel inspired. You need to do the work. Your edge is going to come from consistency. Your growth is going to come from your habits. And look, it's not sexy all the time. But it's how we build a business. It's how we build a life that lasts. So here's your action step. Write down those 3 daily non-negotiables. What are you going to do every single day to make sure you're doing what you need to be doing? And quite frankly, I'm going to tell you now, yes, I'm limited to 3, but that's a bunch of BS. There's not just 3. Real quick here, I'll tell you right now, there's reviewing my goals is 1. There's checking in on my email, which is 2. There's checking in on the markets, which is 3. There's spending time with my children, which is 4, which is really number 1 at all times. Then there's going to be things like prepping for my meetings. There's going to be things like doing my meetings. There's going to be my follow-up calls. There's going to be my prospecting. There's going to be my social media time. There's going to be my content creation time. There's going to be more spending time with my family time. There's going to be 1,000,000% my gym time. So what do I label out there? 5 things, 10 things, 20 things? Point is, I've got mine. What are yours? Write them down. Next, block them in your calendar. Remember the realistic time. Okay, realistic time means if you want to go to the gym for a 60-minute workout, the question is how much time ahead of time did you have to prepare? That included eating, getting dressed, and driving there. Then you do your workout. How much realistic time is going to take you after the fact to leave there, to maybe fuel up and eat again, maybe to shower? What about prospecting? How many calls do you have to make? How much time do you need? If it's writing content, when are you going to do it? How much time do you need? If it's hanging with your children, or family, wife, significant other, when are you going to do it? How much time do you need? Then once you've got all that, I want you to do this. Commit to 7 straight days. Track those 7 straight days. No misses, no excuses. Then simply rinse and repeat. Remember, day 1 when I was at hockey and somebody threw me that beer, that was not easy to say no. Day 7, 1 week later, when I was at that bar and watching the hockey game around all sorts of people having beer and drinking beer and having burgers and nachos, it wasn't easy. But I powered through it. And by me powering through it and actually having the discipline to do so, I've been achieving the results that I want to achieve. So whatever it is that you want, you can do the exact same thing. So here's the deal. Motivation fades. Discipline sticks. And this summer, that's exactly what's going to separate you from the agents who fall off. So if you're serious about growing, stop chasing the high and start building the habit. You've been listening to the MindShare Podcast. Whether it's on your favorite podcast platform or directly from my website, go to MindShare101.com to get your free Ultimate Marketing Bundle and learn about how we will help you build your systems, your strategy, and your success. Follow me at David Greenspan101 on Instagram and let me know what your non-negotiables are this week. I want to know. Message me. I will reply back to you. And until next time, keep building MindShare, because that's how you get more market share. A big thanks to Kits Keep in Touch Systems, REM Magazine, and Revel Realty for sponsoring the show. This has been another episode of the MindShare Podcast. Thank you for tuning in.